I've begun the contour process, and to contour I'm using an eyeshadow line that's new to the United States that is absolutely fantastic called Illamasqua. Their colors are absolutely incredible. They make a wide range of matte shadows, which is something that I particularly love, in very highly pigmented formulas. And so what I'm doing is actually using the same contouring brush that I was using before with the blue shadow and contouring along the cheeks, under the jawline, and by the forehead. My goal is to have a light-ish center of the face, but have the outer perimeter of the skin be significantly darker because of the special effect that I'm going to use later with the snowflakes. So I want to be able to see that white relief against the depth of the blue. So here I go. I'm using the 109 brush again underneath the cheekbones, and even on them a little to bring the outer half of the face deeper and shade inward. I'll also contour underneath the jawline, and we'll do more with the neck later when I actually apply airbrush to it. So I've contoured the face a little bit. I've gone underneath the cheekbones here, around the tops of the forehead, on the sides, and then underneath the jawline. And so you can see now that there's a lot more contrast to the look. I'll continue to contour with deeper colors. I'm also going to contour the nose just a little bit since it's sort of disappearing. I'm going to shade up into and under the brow line. Because again, because this is a brow-less look, for the most part, you want to definitely shape and contour the face. Otherwise, it'll just start looking really, really flat. All right, so there you have it, contoured face and nose. So I've begun the eyes. What I'm beginning to do is use the same blue shade to shade the outer corner of the eye. Again, this is not going to be a typical high drag look. So there won't be the high brow, the highlighted brow bone, and then the dark crease. It's going to play with shape and texture a little bit more, and also it's going to have a sort of ethereal effect, especially since, again, it's not going to have a strong brow. So I begin shading here in the outer corner with a small brush, and then I'm actually going to bring it more outward. So that it's a kind of a distinctive shape, but I still want it really blended. So you can see that there. Now I'm also going to take the same shadow and shade the inner corner of the eye and meet up with where that contouring on the inner bridge of the nose is. So again, it's more of a shape and more of an implied shape than we typically see. And again, I'm going to darken that contour underneath the brow, because the depth also helps hide any texture of the brow that maybe didn't cover perfectly. So the eye look is complete. Now what I'm doing is actually preparing to finish the eye look with some eyeliner and the false lashes, which are a key component of the look. So first I need to actually prepare the false lashes. What I have here is a kind of feather lash that was left over from a couple Halloweens ago that is kind of a fawn blonde color. And what I've done with it is I've actually airbrushed it with white pigment and then laid white loose powder pigment over it to make it look as if the lash is coated in snow. Then I'm going to take my trusty MAC lash mixing medium. I'm going to rub a little bit on my finger and again go over the lash and then put more white pigment on it. And so it's going to give it this sort of clumpy, snowy, sort of snow on tree branches look, if you will. So here we are after liner, mascara, lashes on top, and the white snow lashes underneath. As you can see also with the blue Illamasqua eyeshadow, I did take the brow, the implied brow, a little bit further. It's hard for me to do a look that was completely without brows, unless it's a concept look, and I wanted a little bit more of a hint of a brow, so you can see the beginning edges in the center, and the brow actually just sort of fades and doesn't complete. So I think that gives the look just a little bit more polish. It does kind of inspire the femininity a little bit of it and takes that a little bit further. So I did want to do that little bit of brow enhancement. And so the snowflake pattern that goes on the face is actually achieved by using a hard edge and the airbrush machine, so essentially like a piece of paper or something flexible that can be moved around the face, and that way you can get the hard edge that sort of fades in. Well, here we are with the airbrush, my hard edge piece of paper, and my airbrush gun loaded in the top with white makeup. So the idea here is to create a frost-like pattern on the face coming in from the outside, which will later add the Swarovski crystals and the glitter to. So with this process, it can go horribly, horribly awry. So it's best to have practiced a couple of times and know what exactly it is you want to do before you try to do it. Because at this stage of the look is almost complete, and to mess it up, we would really not want to have to start all over again. And so what I'm going to do is take the hard edge that I've got here and place it on the cheekbone, and then I'm just going to lightly spray. And there you can see the kind of white line that denotes the frost. All right, and now we have airbrushed using the stencil and the airbrush gun, and we have achieved that crystallized pattern that we were seeing in the earlier finished look that kind of implies frost, like frost on a window. There is some reminiscence of a snowflake pattern in there. You'll see some six-pointed stars. And so at this point, where we would go from here is to make sure that everything looks clean, maybe add some extra shading to make the shapes pop a little bit, shade against the white in order to make it stand out even more, and then begin laying in the Swarovski crystals and the glitter. Okay, it's time for my favorite part of any makeup. Anyone who knows me will tell you that I am absolutely in love with flat back Swarovski crystals, and I have a website that I can order them in bulk. You can get them actually for something close to like $8 a gross, so $8 for 144 crystals, and normally at like a craft store you'll pay $5 for about 25, so it's a pretty good value. I like to keep that website pretty secret. I don't really share it. Okay, I guess I am sharing it, so you see it on the screen to the right of me, and it is rhinestoneshop.com, and they actually have a size guide, and they actually ship very, very quickly, and they have a number of colors and finishes, and it's pretty amazing. So one tool also I'd like to introduce you to is this here, and it is a rhinestone grabber. Another friend of mine in the Sisters introduced this to me, and so you see the rubberized end actually will pick up the crystals if you have them lying on a flat surface, so you just pick them up and then lift them, and this end is pointed, and I like to actually use that to dip in the lash glue, so I'll dot it and then kind of lay the crystal on, and it goes really, really, really fast, so you can get a lot of crystals on in a short period of time with a lot of precision. All right, now you can see we're getting really close to the finished product, and as I turn, you can see all of the Swarovski crystals that I have glued in place. I think I'm about done. I could potentially add some more sparkle, and I think I probably will. And then all I need to do then is to add lips, of my wig, and then my costume, and I'm ready to go. For my ears, you can see that there's a little bit of flesh showing, and for my neck, I'm actually going to mix up an airbrush concoction to match the blue, and then just spray over them that way. The airbrush tends to stay better, it dries down to a more water-resistant finish, and my ears tend to flush and get really hot, and then my neck, of course, will come in contact with my shirt, and so I want to make sure that that stays really well. Also, as far as my hands are concerned, you can see how dirty they are from me being digging around in makeup. I'm actually going to use the airbrush for them as well. And then I will probably add some Swarovski crystals to my hands as well, if you know me. So I'll check back in with you with the finished look so you can see how it all turns out. Alright, well, here's the finished look. With Swarovski crystals and the dreadlock wig, a little bit of blush added into the areas of the snowflakes, and we're ready to go out and rock out San Francisco's Halloween. Alright, thanks. Happy Halloween.